Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Lancaster Archery. I wanted to talk to you today about a simple setup. Most of us are bow hunters out there, but competition archery, tournament archery has a lot of benefits for you bow hunters out there. It just makes you a more precise archer, more confident archer, confidence in the woods. That's everything. Who doesn't want to be a better archer? Well, if you're shooting targets all day, you're gonna be a better archer. Let's face it, in competition, you're always gonna shoot your bow. You go out bow hunting, you might not shoot your bow. So, let's say you have a bow hunting setup, you wanna shoot competition, but you don't wanna get a target bow, you don't wanna get a full crazy setup. You don't have to. You could take your hunting bow and you can actually tailor it to do both for hunting and competition, or you can just change a few minor things to it so that it will be a hunting setup. This right here is my hunting bow. It's a Matthews Traverse, and you can see I've got a long stabilizer out front, 15-inch stabilizer. I got an 8-inch on the side, got weights out front. I will hunt with this. Now this is a great target setup. It's got that long stabilizer, but I will hunt with this as well. And when people say, oh, that stabilizer is going to get in your way, well, this is the test that we always do. Any distance from the front of my riser that I would have to compensate for the stabilizer, I'd have to worry about, at some point, my arrow being even longer. So if my arrow can fit in whatever hunting, if I'm in a blind or a tree stand, my stabilizer is still shorter than that. So it's not a problem. You'll learn to work around it. But what do you want to do? How do you want to set up? You'll notice here that I have a front bar and a side rod. That's really going to help you be steady for competition archery, which will then translate over to bow hunting as well. So you can get a simple one pack here. This is made by Bee Stinger. It's called the 10-8. It's got a 10-inch, that would be your front bar, 8-inch would be your side rod. It comes with the connection, all in one kit. You put that on there, you can hunt with this, you can shoot competition with this, you can do anything with this setup. And what we like about stabilizers is we want the weight to be as far away from the riser as possible, front and back, that resists hand torque. So that's something you can think about there, adding to your setup. Let's take a look at a sight. You can see here, this is the Excel Riotech. You can see those pins are super bright and they're small. This is 19 thousandths. That's a good average pin size for both bow hunting and for competition. And it's going to work great for you. The features that this sight has built into it that are really going to help for competition is you can adjust the second and third axis on it. So the second axis is going to be your bow. It's going to make sure that your bow is level this way. So obviously you want the bow to be perfectly vertical. It does no good if your sight is not level as well. So the second axis will allow you to level it this way, and the third axis is going to level your sight this way. So for uphill and downhill shots, if your third axis is off, and you can imagine from a tree stand, if you're shooting like this, if your third axis is off, you can be shooting left or right of where you want to hit. So a good quality sight is going to have second and third axis adjustments. Just think about that when you're buying your sight. Along with the sight, so we as bow hunters, we like to have a fairly big peep sight because we need light to get through. Our prime time is early morning, late in the evening when the light is bad. So kind of a standard size for bow hunters is a 1/4-inch peep sight. Well, for competition, that's a little big. You're not going to get the same precision. As you look through this peep sight, you're going to see a lot of room around your scope housing. So you can be a little bit off and still be able to see your pin with a 1/4-inch. Well, why not shrink it down to just 3/16? This is only 1/16 smaller than the 1/4-inch, yet It's still going to allow a lot of light to get through. It's going to give you just a little more precision. Target archers may be shooting 1/16 or 2/16 somewhere in there. 3/16 is a good happy medium. It's going to give you precision. It's still going to allow light through. So that's going to help you in both situations. Now maybe a release. Maybe for bow hunting you've always used an index finger release. Those have issues related to anticipation. We tend to punch the trigger when it's a finger release, index finger. So for a little more precision, maybe you want to go to something like this. This is a thumb button release. So you can do a lot more of back tension with a thumb button release. It's just easier. With an index finger, it's either on or it's off. With a thumb button, you can come to anchor and just flex your back muscles and pull all the way through the shot. That's going to give you more opportunity for the surprise shot, which tend to be more accurate. An even better choice you may want to go to is right here by TrueFire. We have the Sear and the Synapse. These are identical handles. The Synapse is the thumb button version. The Sear is the back tension or hinge version. So maybe you want to shoot the thumb button for hunting, and for target you want to get even more precise. You can switch to the hinge. Both releases are going to feel the same, so you're not really going to notice any difference. Obviously the hinge benefit is that has a true surprise release. As you pull through the shot, the hinge rotates in your hand, it fires while you're holding that pin steady. You're just focused on aiming the whole time. So for an arrow rest, as hunters, it's hard to beat the full capture rest. My arrow's in there, whether I'm in a tree stand, ground blind, walking around, the arrow's not going to come out. That's one of the great benefits of the full capture rest. There are some other popular rests that bow hunters use, brush style rests. Those are certainly great bow hunting rests, but they may not be the best for competition. So a drop away is going to give you the best of both worlds. It's still full capture, and yet this rest is designed that at the shot, the rest falls out of the way. There's no interference between the rest and your arrows. This is going to be a little more precise than a brush style rest. So maybe think about getting a drop away when you're setting up your bow. So those are a couple things to think of. If you want to do bow hunting and competition archery with one setup, you can do that if you think about it when you go in to buy your setup. Or here's some ideas for some simple adjustments you can make. If you already have a bow hunting setup, you don't need to buy a whole new rig. You can just make some adjustments with some parts to be able to go out there and compete